Two sons, two offerings. One accepted. That was enough. It started with smoke, one rising, one not. It ended with silence. God asked where Abel was. Cain said he didn't know. The ground already did. The first grave had no name on it. No one left who would have carved it. Abel never saw it coming. It was envy. A brother who watched the smoke rise from Abel's altar and couldn't look away. A man who wanted God to look at him the way God looked at his brother. Stay with us until the end, because the final scene carries a message everyone needs to hear. And if stories that inspire you to be better are what you are looking for, subscribe to Biblecledia and be part of a community that believes in spreading love and light through the Word. The story begins outside a garden. Adam and Eve had once walked where the air was light and unburdened, where the presence of God was not distant, but near. But after their disobedience, they were sent east of Eden. The ground was no longer effortless. Work demanded sweat. Life would now end in death. Into that world, their first son was born. Eve held him close and said,
"With the Lord's help, I have brought forth a man."
She named him Cain, a name that carried the sense of acquiring, of gaining something long hoped for. After loss and exile, he must have felt like a promise. Later, another son was born. They named him Abel. His name carried the softness of breath, something light, something passing. If Cain felt like a rival, Abel felt like a whisper. The boys grew. Cain worked the soil. He pressed seeds into the earth that had once yielded freely, but now resisted. He learned patience the hard way. He learned strength the hard way. Abel kept flocks. He led sheep through open fields and watched the skies for weather. His work required attentiveness, quiet observation, steady care. In time, both brothers came to worship. Cain brought an offering from the fruit of the ground he had cultivated. Abel brought from the firstborn of his flock, selecting from the finest portions. They stood before God with what they had labored for. And the Lord regarded Abel and his offering with favor. But Cain and his offering were not regarded the same way. Something shifted in that moment. Cain's face fell. The warmth drained from his expression. What began as disappointment began to harden into something darker. It is a small thing at first, that tightening in the chest when someone else is praised, that flicker of comparison. God spoke into that moment.
"Why are you angry? Why has your face fallen? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted?"
The invitation was still open. Nothing irreversible had happened yet. Then came the warning. Sin is crouching at your door. Its desire is for you, but you must rule over it. The image is vivid. Something waiting just outside, low to the ground, patient. Cain was not powerless. He was not trapped. He was being urged to choose. But anger, once welcomed, grows. Cain spoke to Abel, his brother. The words are not recorded. Maybe they were ordinary. Maybe Abel suspected nothing at all. They went out into the field together, into the place where Cain worked, where rows of crops stretched under open sky. And there, away from everyone else, Cain rose up against Abel and killed him. The first human death did not come from sickness. It did not come from age. It came from envy. Abel fell into the same earth he had once walked upon. The breath named breath was gone. Then the Lord said to Cain,
"Where is Abel, your brother?"
The question was not asked for information. It was asked for honesty. Cain answered,
I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?
The bitterness in his reply cut deeper than he realized. And God said,
"What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground."
The earth, once told to bring forth food, had now received blood. What was meant to sustain life had become witness to its taking.
"Now you are cursed from the ground,"
God declared.
"When you work it, it shall no longer yield to you its strength. You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth."
Cain felt the weight of those words immediately. "My punishment is greater than I can bear," he said. "Whoever finds me will kill me." Fear replaced defiance. The man who had not guarded his brother now feared for his own life. Yet, even here, judgment was not the end of the story. The Lord placed a mark on Cain, a sign that no one who encountered him should take his life. Justice had spoken, but mercy had not withdrawn. Cain went away from the presence of the Lord and settled further east. There he built a city and named it after his son. Life continued. Families grew. Skills developed. Music would be played. Tools would be forged. Humanity advanced. But something had shifted permanently. A line had been crossed in that field. The first family had known the first funeral. Adam and Eve, who had once heard God speak of death as consequence, now felt it as grief. The ripple of one choice moved outward into generations. The story of Cain and Abel is not simply about violence. It is about the quiet beginnings of it, about the moment when comparison becomes resentment, when wounded pride becomes anger, when anger, left unchecked, becomes destruction. Cain brought an offering. He believed in God. He spoke directly with him. Yet belief without surrender proved hollow. Worship without humility proved dangerous. Abel, though he never speaks a recorded word in the story, speaks through his actions. He gave what was first. He gave what was best. And though his life was brief, it was counted as faithful. The question that began the story remains: where is your brother? It is more than a location. It is a responsibility. Am I aware of those around me? Do I guard my heart against comparison? Do I master what crouches at my door? Two brothers stood before God. One allowed correction to shape him. The other allowed jealousy to rule him. And the field where it happened is not as distant as we think. Every heart faces that moment. Every soul feels that warning. The choice still stands. If this story challenged you, take a moment right now to reflect on your own heart. And if you want more powerful retellings of stories like this, stories that uncover the depth behind familiar words, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because some stories are ancient, but their questions are still alive today.